one of the senior-most Carnatic vocalists. He is a very well-known musician for his deep understanding of Lakshya and Lakshana in Indian classical music. He is a living authority in Vivadi Ragas. Today, he is here with us as an authority on Carnatic music to clarify any questions, queries you would have in Carnatic music. Sri Madurai G.S.Mani was introduced to Hindustani music by Omkarnath Thakur. He has produced telefilms on Carnatic composers for Doordarshan and composed music for many more. We have a very senior musician and the right person for this session. It is up to the inquisitive minds to explore the maximum. Before we move on to the session, I please request the participants to switch off your mobile phones and no audio and video recording, please.
Yes, Namaskaram. This is an open house, so you are absolutely at liberty to question me on the areas in Carnatic music, and I will try to answer them from my little knowledge I have experienced for all these 65 years, gathering from several stalwart singers, musicologists, and many were living in villages never surfaced, despite their profundity in knowledge and in execution of that also. The fortune did not favor them to come on dice, but the knowledge they had mostly went with them to the grave. Unfortunately, they were not available for the then leading artist, who didn't find much time to go to them, and probably they had their own reasons. But yet, I feel so sad. The knowledge they accrued out of their own experience, personal experience for so many years, have gone under the sea as far as singing is concerned. Regarding the Tala part, the rhythm section, the development still remains. It has come down wonderfully well to the youngsters, and many youngsters are in their own way contributive to this art. But as vocalist, the real nuances of Carnatic music and its rendering has to be learnt by the new crop of young singers. After all, music, you see, basically it rests on the vocalist. I mean, purely for my personal point, I have great regard for all the instrumentalists, but the Sahityam part is never told to. So the vocalists bear the responsibility. They take the cross on their shoulders, and they have to certainly go to authentic scriptures. Those are available now in English also, along with the Sanskrit one, to know that in case if the book doesn't help them, they may have to approach people who can demonstrate, and there are few who could definitely give up such understanding, of course free of cost, no strings attached to that. So that must be a clear disposition our youngsters must have. In case if they should have ego, they have to shed it out and go for learning. And for learning no age limit. Even it is said, even the goddess Saraswati presiding over the music, I mean fine arts, Kalaimahalli innum katrukondirikkiral, that is what they say. It is an ocean, I know. So I have taken only one spoonful, just a teaspoonful of the knowledge that music, the Sagara, the music ocean gives. I will answer if there is any question like that from my little knowledge that is available in me out of so many, easily about 65 years of experience. I will really try to answer your questions. You are most welcome to question me. The house starts now. Sir, any questions, sir, in the classical field? I know there are people, a couple of people are here to question me in cinema front also. I welcome that. Related to Carnatic music.
Hi, Namaskaram.
Namaskaram.
I'm MP Ram Srinivasan.
Sollu.
Since nobody is starting, I thought I'll start with a very silly question right now.
No, most welcome. Any question is, in its entirety is a question.
I remember the thing somebody said, the only question that's unasked is a silly question.
No, go ahead.
So for people who are just starting into music, what's the best way to learn how to identify ragas? I've heard your Sangeetamam cinema long time ago, and that did help, sort of make some comparisons and identify what it is. For lay people like us, what do you think, what do you recommend is the best way to start? How do we start listening to it, and how do we start identifying the raga?
Right. That is the very main thrust, particularly most of the sterling idea behind my bringing out the 3 cassettes. Now it is available in CD. I have covered 28 ragas which were in use since 1935, and it ended, as far as I am concerned, it ended with almost 70-75, because then the music directors were composing the film songs. When they picked up a raga, they were very true to that. They never deviated from the prescription for that raga given in authentic scriptures. So if they composed it in Kalyani, it will be only in Kalyani. If they composed in Shanmugapriya, it will be only in Shanmugapriya. So don't worry about the nomenclature of the ragas, names and all that. First, lend your ears to this song, whether it is a film song oriented in Carnatic music, or any small child singing in a radio or dice, or even at home, having learnt it from her or his teacher. Please come to know the sound part of it. After all, music is basically sound, and when you take the subject called sound, it is equally much bigger than your music. The music is compared as ocean, but it is much more than ocean, the sound. For the simple reason, sound transcends even music. Only the basis of sound, we create music. The music, after all sound, it has to come from, of course I am going to a bit of a scientific explanation, it has to come from the sound part of it. The sound comes from what we say Akasha, the first element. The first element is available in you. The very basic compulsion of the music is you have to understand the silence in you. Maunam, Maunam means it is not the silence what we understand as the opposite of noise. No. There is no English word for Mauna. So the emptiness in which the Akasha, the first element, is, and the property of the first element is sound, and that sound provides the basis for the music which we sing. So this is the great grandson of the original source called emptiness. That is why it is very imperative for the singers when they sing, especially ragas. I mean, raga singing is only music, not your sahityas, not your swara singing. What all I am expressing is purely personal, sir, absolutely personal. It has its own individual stamp on that. So, when you sing a raga, you are drawing it from the silence, and it is imperative, as I told you earlier, to provide silence in between two phrases. That's very important. Unless you provide silence, it becomes illegible. It cannot, nobody would listen to it, because the ear refuses to take. This is it. Even when I talk to you, there is a fraction of a second in between two words. So when I come to sing a raga, which is not a word, which is abstract in itself, it is so abstract, raga is impalpable, they say. it is brought into understand, it brought to near approximation, I could say. It has a swarupa, what we say. That is the ultimate aim of any singer, to get into the swarupa, get the swarupa, then get into the swarupa. This is what all Carnatic music is about. Sita, para Sangeeta Jnanamu Adhata Rahevala. That is what Tyagaraja proclaims in his Devagandhari Kriti. சங்கீத ஞானம் அப்படிங்கிறது அந்த பிரம்மன் தலையில் எழுதணும் அப்படின்னு சொல்கிறார். அப்போ ஞானம் வந்து பிறந்த உடனே இவ்வளோ ஞானத்தோட மேபி a rare phenomena in children. அப்போ ஞானம் எதுக்குமே பிகினிங் இருக்கணும். இந்த பிகினிங் இருக்கணுங்கிறப்ப you must have an inkling to know what this music is all about. So it starts with naming, identifying the raga, and then if you can name it. If you can identify it, that itself is the first process. Here, the classical musicians, they sing. Suppose if there is a kriti called, say we will take Kalyani. Talli ninnu nera Biranavara. These are all Kalyani songs. Yetaunara. So, Engamari people like us, we will be able to identify. The moment it starts, we know it's Kalyani. But your question is how to spot it out as Kalyani. Am I right? So here, our Tyagaraja Kriti, Mutsam Dikshata Kriti, Syama Shastra Kriti will not help you. What to do? I have to prove the angel through the demon. So I have to tell you, because the mass media, I am talking to you from 1935 onwards, films. In those days, music directors were absolutely restricting themselves to the classical side of music when they produced tunes. And they did really produce wonderful tunes. Here I could even go to the extent of saying, informing you, a raga called Charkeshi, which nobody knew then. It surfaced as early as 1945 or 46 or 40, something like that, late 40s, after Manmada Lile Vandanamundo, sung by Tyagaraja in Haridas. Till then nobody knew that there is a raga existing as Charkeshi. We have a Swami's Kritis there, there are Swami's Kritis. Adamodi galazera mahiyamata adamo. That's all. There's no further elaborate dealing of that raga in that kriti. Don't find fault with the he brought that kriti so that the raga can live. There are many ragas in which Swamiji has created ragas so that the raga can live. And it is for the later generation to develop on that. So my job was to inform people the same question which you put me, it was put to me some 40 years back. So I started this attempt in 1972 when at Tirupur there was a sabha called Rasika Priya, conducted by M.S. Rajan, whose brother son is sitting here, Chandran. He wanted me to, this is his idea actually. Why not Mr. Mani do this SaMaaGaMa and our Carnatic music raga? Why not give a program? So the inception of that was from Mr. M.S. Rajan, who is now at Hosur. Then I took it boldly, and he arranged 3 programs. Period of time, within a year we had 3 programs. First program was attended by a handful of people, maybe about 40 or 50. And second program, about 500, 600 people. And third program, police were brought. Because it was arranged in a playground. Easily 2,000 to 3,000 people were there. Don't think I gathered that crowd. G.S.Mani Padra and all that. No, the subject. Carnatic is cinema. So that showed people wanted to know what Carnatic music is in terms of film music. And when you go to film music, the then music directors, they were capable of producing such good tunes in our familiar ragas. Say, I took the Kalyani, I will tell you the Kalyani. I will go to Manamagal. Nane un adimaye, nane un adimaye. Just one song. There are several such songs. Sindanai sei maname. You are all familiar with. Mannavan vandanadi. That also you know. When you hear that song, please take it to your mind. It is Kalyani. You have to go by paper now. Mannavan vandanadi is in Kalyani. Sindanai sei maname in Kalyani. காணனே வான காட்டிலே கண்ணன் மனுள் ஆட ஒரு பாட்டு இருக்கு. For recent songs, I'm sorry, I'm not very familiar with the words. This is the tune. அம்மா வெந்தழைக்காத விடையில்லையே, அம்மா வெந்தழைக்காத உயிரில்லையே, உங்களுக்கு புரியாது. இந்த மெல்ல பாடினாலே புரியாது. அப்புறம் அதில் மிருகா வந்து என்ன பண்ண போகிறோம்? ஸோ நீரஜதளநேத்ரா புரியாது. கொஞ்சம் வழக்கமாக வரக்கூடிய ரசிகாளுக்கே அது புரியாது. அல்ல ஜிஎன்பி மாதிரி பாடணும். வாசுதேவயனி வடலினோ பாரிகு நீகலனே. ஒரு ஹோல் கல்யாணி ஹஸ் கம் தேர். He has covered the entire octave. அந்த மாநில வாழ்வு பெரும் ஆனந்தம் வானுலகோரறியாயல் கண்ணே மாநில. இந்த லீடு தான் மன்னவன் வந்தானடி வந்தது. அதாவது உத்தராங்க சஞ்சாரம், லேட்டர் போர்ஷன் டெவலப்மெண்ட் வந்தது. கல்யாணியெல்லாம் உத்தராங்கத்தில் நிறைய பிரகாசிக்கும். அது உத்தராங்க லேட்டர் போர்ஷனில் டெவலப் ஆகிறதெல்லாம் பரசுராம் ஸ்ரீராம் சொன்னாப்புல உத்தராங்கம் பூர்வாங்கங்கிறது நமக்கும் உண்டு. நம்மதே உண்டு. பஞ்சமம் வரைக்கும் பாடிட்டு இருந்தோம்னா பூர்வாங்கம், பஞ்சமத்துக்கு மேலே பாடினா உத்தராங்கம்னு பேர். உத்தரம்னா பியாண்டு, பூர்வம்னா அதுக்குள்ளே இருக்கிறது. பூர்வாங்கம் பார்க்க முன்னால் இருக்கிறது, பார்க்க அப்புறம் இருக்கிறது உத்தராங்கம். உத்தரா மீன்ஸ் நாட்டில் நார்த்துங்கிற அர்த்தம் இல்லை, பியாண்டுன்னு ஒரு அர்த்தம் இருக்கு. ஆஃப்டர் தட் அப்படிங்கிறது ஒன்று. அதாவது பேரா, டிரான்ஸ், அல்ட்ரா அதெல்லாம் உத்தரம்னு சமஸ்கிருதத்தில் வந்துடும். ஸோ திஸ் இஸ் ஹவ் யூ ஹாவ் டு கோ. இப்போ பாப்புலர் ராகாஸ் இருக்கு, ஒரு மோகனமும் இருக்கு, நிறைய ஃபிலிம் சாங்ஸ் வந்துருக்கு. ஒரு பாட்டு நீங்கள் தெரிஞ்சுட்டா போகிறோம், அந்த யாஸ்டிக்கை வச்சு பாக்கியெல்லாம் அளந்துன்னு போயிடலாம். முந்தியில் மோகனத்தில் வந்ததுன்னா ரொம்ப வெரி எர்லி டேஸில் சொல்கிறேன்னா, அதில் அங்கேருந்து இப்போ டேப் பண்ணி விட்றேன்னா, எனக்கு நீ துயர் இங்கு ஏது அம்மா, எனக்கு நீ துயர் இங்கு ஏது அம்மா, தினம் முந்தனை பணிந்த நாள் எனக்கு. இந்த மோகனம் ஆஹா இன்ப நிலாவினிலே ஓஹோ ஜெகமே ஆடிடுது. மோகனம் பழக தெரிய வேண்டும், உலகில் பார்த்து நடக்க வேண்டும், பெண்ணே பழக. இது எல்லாமே ஒரே நோட்டில் தான் வந்துட்டு இருக்கோம். இந்த இது ஃபேஷியாலஜி எடுத்துக்கோங்க. இப்போ கன்னடான்னு இருக்கு, சுக்கியம் வரோ சுமுக்கியம் வரோ அகில சாரமகு தாரகநாம சுகி எவ்வளோ. இந்த ஃபேஷியாலஜி வராமல் இருக்கவே இருக்காது எந்த கன்னடாலையும். எவ்வளோ முல்லை மலர் மேலே அங்கேயே வந்துடும். மூக்கும் பண்டு போலே கன்னடா பாட்டு நார்மலாக மேலே ஆரம்பிக்காது, நார்மலாக பார்த்தோம்னா கீழே தான் ஆரம்பிக்கும். ஆனால் அதை மேலேயே ஆரம்பித்து அதனுடைய ஃப்ரேஷியாலஜியை கொண்டு ஹிட் பண்ண மியூசிக் டைரக்டர்ஸும் இருக்கா. இப்போ நமக்கு அலை பாயுதே உங்கள் எல்லாருக்கும் தெரியும், அது அந்த காலத்தில் மேடையில் மாத்திரம் பாடின்னு இருந்தோம். இப்போ சினிமாவில் வந்ததுனால இப்போ எல்லாருக்கும் தெரியுது அது. அதனால சினிமாவை நம்ம பழிக்க முடியாது. இட் இஸ் எ மீடியம் தட் கேட்டர்ஸ் டு தி நீட்ஸ் ஆஃப் மில்லியன்ஸ் ஆஃப் பீப்புள். வாங்கம்மா. So that is the main, what the purpose and thrust for which those cassettes were made. Of course, it did give a big dent into my professional, career. Doesn't matter. அவன் என்ன சினிமா பாட்டெலாம் பாடிட்டு இருக்கான்னு அப்படி ஒரு பெரிய ஒரு கீர்த்தி எனக்கு உண்டு. Doesn't matter. But anyway, many thousands of people are benefited னு கேள்விப்படுறேன். Otherwise, person like you wouldn't have stood up and questioned me on this. That is the success for my contribution, little contribution. So understand the phraseology of any film song, if it is in Carnatic music. Then you apply it, that's the key, that's the platinum key, you can open any raga. முதல்ல 2-3 ராகத்தை தெரிஞ்சுக்கோங்க. ஒரு 5-6 மாதத்துக்குள்ள you will be knowing 100 ragas. It will start applying.